Let's now go with Robin. Says, hi Ave, I've been following your content. Really appreciate the way you guide artists. I've recently completed a few projects and would love to get your feedback. Let's take a look. What do we have here? Okay, so we have a couple of fan arts and then a couple of characters. Let's take a look at Thor. Nice. I'm gonna show you, Robert, a very important thing. One of the most important tools that you can have as an artist. And everyone today is going to learn that with you, okay? You need to develop the ability to compare, okay? And I'm not saying this toxic comparison where you put your work side by side with another artist and feel bad about yourself if the other artist is really good. No. For instance, I'm telling Thor 3D character. Let's look for a model that we can see and we can all agree is in a good execution level, like this one right here, right? Or maybe not that one. I know this is from. Actually, let's take a look at the. Oh, there we go. This is awesome. Okay, so you need to put your work side by side with someone else's work that's really good or with reference, right? And I need you and everyone else watching right now, I need you guys to really develop the skill to ask yourself the hard questions and be like, what am I missing to get from this point to this point? Start with basic stuff, the most basic things. For instance, colors, right? Colors are very easy to pinpoint. What do you guys see on this hair right here compare to this hair right here in terms of colors? I want you guys on the chat to tell me right now. What do you guys see right there? What's the difference on the colors here with the colors here? That's right, Puching, Wolf Girl. The hair should look more like a blonde hair rather than this sort of like greenish, yellowish hair that we have on your piece. And I really like the fact that you tried with the hair cards. Hair cards are tricky, very, very tricky. But this hair looks yellow. Or not yellow, looks greenish, right? So it doesn't look like the hair that we would expect to see on Thor. So that's the kind of questions that you ask yourself, and then you go to your diffuse map on the hair, you change the hue a little bit, and you get to the blondish hair. Skin. What do you see about the skin compared to yours? Yours is very pale, and this skin right here has a little bit more complexity to it. Of course, we can talk about the forms, we can talk about the proportions. For instance, on the arm, we can talk about how the arm is constructed, right, to get this sort of like shapes with all of the proper muscles. That's the comparison that you do. And I'm not saying that you need to go back and fix this project. This project is done. It's fine. But I'm telling you that it is very important that you really see the reference, really see the things, and really compare those things to understand what are the areas that we need to improve upon, okay? Because if we don't improve upon those areas, we're not going to improve as artists. And it's very, very tough to do so. I understand that it's difficult to, it's like a difficult pill to swallow, right? To put someone's work that's really, really good and see yours and it's like, oh, I suck. Yes, you suck right now. I'm not saying you suck, my friend, but as artists, we suck at one point. We're really bad at one point. But unless we really take a look at the stuff and we really analyze and we really understand what's going on, we're not going to be able to improve. Okay, this is a very important perspective change that I want everyone to have. Go to ArtStation here. There we go. When you go to ArtStation and you see a really kick-ass project like this one right here, this is amazing. This is amazing, like really top-notch quality, AAA quality. It's like, come on, right? Like so good. There's two types of mindsets that you can have when you see this. One of them is, I'm never going to be as good as this guy. And the other one is, I want to be as good as this guy, right? Two different perspectives for the same like process that we're seeing right here. So it's very important that you understand that we need to follow this one right here. When we see a work that's really good, I can tell you, this work is really good. It's better than a lot of my works. So it's really, really freaking good, right? But I'm not going to feel demotivated by this. I'm not going to feel like I suck. The fact that this work is better than my work doesn't mean that I'm bad, right? It just means that there's a new sort of like height that I can get to. And the best thing that you can do with this type of projects is analyze and try to find those little secrets and trying to understand what is this guy doing that is making this project be so good. For instance, one thing that I see right here is all of this like secondary detail that he's adding to the cloth, right? Like all of those like stitches and breakpoints. That's awesome. Like I could definitely incorporate a little bit of that on one of my next projects. And I really like to study all of the single details. What other detail do I see on that stuff? Well, I see that on all of those breakpoints right there, there is more damage and the color gets desaturated. So now mentally, I'm making a note. Next time I do a torn cloth, I'm gonna add more damage, more detail, and close to that detail, I'm gonna make sure to desaturate and add a little bit of this sort of like dusty effect to really get closer to what we're seeing right here. Does that make sense? So every single piece that we see right here, and that's the beauty of us as humans, I would say, and as artists, every single thing that we see is an opportunity for us to learn something. So I don't have to do the whole process. I don't have to do tens of thousands of practice in every single element when I can just go online, look at what other people are doing, and really study, find those details, really, again, incorporate that into my mental sort of like imagery, into my knowledge database, and use that for my next projects, right? Use them as inspiration rather than something that's gonna bring me down. That's the secret when looking at art, okay? So that's what I want you to do here, Robin. I want you to start looking at more art, and I want you to look at what is working for other people, right? We're missing wrinkles on this one, for instance. So it looks very lumpy. The cloth looks very lumpy. It doesn't look like it's flowing in the right direction. I'm not sure if you're doing this with Marvelous Designer or if you tried doing this with ZBrush, but it looks very like clay-like. It doesn't look as soft and as flowy as we would expect. So it's very, very important that you try to match the reference. Really study the reference, Robin. Really study what you're trying to achieve and try to incorporate those details there. There's some anatomy proportions here as well that we need to fix, especially the arms. I see you're struggling a little bit with the arms. I've mentioned this before. Goblins are an excellent like piece to learn about like 3D because they tend to have a lot of like exposed anatomy. So if you go and find a goblin concept art, like let's see, they can be a little bit stylized as well. So it really depends. But if you find some like cool goblin concept art, like an orc or like a troll, you know, those kind of like creatures. Those are very fun creatures to practice with. Like this one's very stylized, right? But you can see how clean the silhouette is in terms of the shoulder, the forearm, the hand. That's like a minotaur. That's a pretty cool concept, by the way. So yeah, it's important that you guys always try to look at the reference and learn from the reference.